Hi, it's Jerry with I Love RV Life. We're doing something really neat today. We're going to make a stand-up desk. Well, hi, this is Jerry. Today we're going to be making a stand-up desk, not for the RV. Yeah, of course, I could put it in there, and that might be something that I want to do at a later date. But today I'm going to be doing it for a different reason. It is Help a Teacher's Week. Well, at least it is for me. One of the challenges now with COVID-19 going around is that many of the teachers are having to go into their classrooms, and they may have a limited amount of students or no students at all, and they're doing remote learning. And doing that at a desk, sitting down, working from a chalkboard, those types of things is a bit difficult without standing. So having to sit at the desk, get up, get down, get up, get down is just not feasible. Second, schools are run by technology now, so they've got to have a place to put their laptop and their camera and whatever else, document camera, whatever else that they need. And again, sitting at a desk, getting up, getting down, getting up, getting down, adds more fatigue to these teachers who have just so many challenges now with, it's my heart goes out to them. They're teaching kids in class and online. They need all the help they can get. So I'm going to make this stand-up desk for a teacher. Now this just isn't any teacher. This is my daughter Julie. So I'm doing it to her because number one, she's a teacher. Number two, she's my daughter. And number three, if you've ever met her, she's one of the sweetest human beings that's ever placed on the face of this earth. So when she came to her dad, oh, look at this neat stand-up desk. I looked at it and go, okay, let's get to work on this. So, stand-up desk, and I still may do it for the RV here pretty soon. Couple reasons you want to have a stand-up desk. I shared that earlier as far as the ease of technology, but there's some nice health reasons too. If you work on the road like I do and you sit for long periods of time, it can add fatigue. It's really not healthy for you, so you should be standing up, taking breaks periodically anyway. And to be able to stand and work for, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, then sit back down doing those types of things. You can add a stool that you can work from. So, there's a lot of advantages for having a stand-up desk. I'm a big fan of them. Couple things. This one is going to be a custom piece of furniture. I'm going to make this really nice. So I'm going to use some of my shop tricks. I do have a few specialty tools that I'll be showing you. Not necessary to be able to make a desk in this fashion, but I am going to make it look a little bit more like a piece of nice furniture. Just because I can. And again, I want to do it for Julie as well, just to make something really nice for her. So we're going to do that too. I'm building this specifically for Julie. So what I did is I held a laptop, turned it around with the keyboard facing in this direction, and I held it in this distance, and then I actually placed her hands on the keyboard where she could be very, very comfortable. Then we measured the distance from the floor to the bottom of the laptop. Now what you don't want is to be typing like this. It adds all this fatigue in your shoulders and your arms, and if you're going to be standing there for 30, 45 minutes, you don't want to be this high. I'll stand back. You don't want to have any height at all. It's best to think about your hands being level, or maybe even an inch down to where you have no fatigue, no stress of lifting your arms up. I know that sounds maybe crazy, but from a human factors engineering perspective, you want as much comfort if you're going to be standing 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours in Julie's case, to where all these teachers are going to be standing there for long periods of time, doing work, moving back and forth, doing those types of things. And I want to take as much physical stress out of what she's going to be doing, or anyone from that matter. Okay? And I'm thinking about this for me too, if I choose to make one. So for Julie, we measured her. The desk is going to be 38 inches tall, and that's perfect for her height, perfect for her arm placement. So we're going to be doing that. Next, I kind of splurged a little bit, and instead of making this out of just a cheap piece of plywood, I did go ahead and buy a piece of birch. So this is going to be premium plywood. Again, I'm still building this on a budget. And looking at my cost, I think I can build this entire stand-up desk for about $75. Think about that as you look online and you're comparing price of $500 to $1,000. This is going to be very substantial. It's going to have great weight to it. And I think if you're considering this for your home, or if you're considering this for your school, think about your teachers, or if you're thinking about this for your RV, this is going to be a perfect application. Let's get started. All right, don't you laugh at my sketch. Part of this is conceptual design, okay? I'm a conceptual design guy. I know, that's the sketch. I kind of gave her an idea of what I was going to be doing. You know, I've done enough furniture building that she kind of got an idea where her dad was going. So anyway, the sketch. Okay, it'll look better than that, I promise. The other thing that you want to be doing is set you out a plywood diagram. So it can be the simplest thing. You can do it in SketchUp and Google. You can take a sheet of paper like I did, 48 inches by 96 inches, and then I did my layout. This plywood is expensive. Any plywood is expensive, and what you want to be able to do is maximize your cuts and minimize your waste, okay? I need to put that on a t-shirt. Maximize your cuts, minimize your waste. So I put together a little cut diagram of what I'm going to be doing, and that way, number one, when I go to buy my plywood or my wood or whatever I'm using, I'll know exactly how much I'm going to need so I don't overbuy, or worse, be in the middle of the project and underbuy. And then I know where to make my cuts, and not going to waste anything, and we'll be able to use, you know, the desk at 100% of the plywood that I bought, which is really, really important. I'm not putting a full back on this. Again, I'm building this on a little bit of a budget, but it will look like a nice piece of furniture when I get through. All right, cut diagram in hand. Let's get this thing set up and start doing some cutting. This is going to be fun. I love making woodwork. I'm making this out of nice birch. When I cut a piece in a minute, I'll show it to you. This is a very nice fine grain. I would call it cabinet grade, but it's great for making furniture too. It's going to make really pretty stuff. So with this, what's the old adage? Measure twice and cut once. I'll probably measure like 3 or 4 times just to make sure I'm not going to booger up this plywood. And I've got a table saw that I'll be using, but since I'm working by myself today, this first cut will be with a skill saw, and that adds an extra little bit of a challenge. This is what they call a sheetrock square. It's great for marking your plywood and having a nice straight edge to kind of guarantee your cut. So these are cheap. And worth every penny. I'll be using this several times today. One of the things that I'll do is I will go out to ilovervlife.com. On this blog that you can go to, it'll be in the link that's up above here, and also be in the show notes. I call it show notes at the end of the video. But you'll be able to see, I'll put a diagram for you so you can see the cutout. And again, you can just kind of see how the process is going here. And I will give some extra detail that the video is kind of highlighting. So I'll do a plywood cut diagram for you, and then I'll do a diagram of the actual table, and then you can adjust the height. As I was talking about that human factors engineering, then you can adjust the height for what you need. Since I don't have a straight edge, this is that nice clear poplar that I was talking about, and I'm going to use this as my straight edge for my saw. So it's going to actually get some double use, and this will be the only time that I use this. Typically when you have a woodworking project, you'll need a lot a lot of C-clamps, pipe clamps. These are called quick grips. I love these things. I've had them for a long time. They're cheap. You break one, it doesn't break your heart. So some of you may be thinking, well, you know, I don't have a workshop such as you have, Jerry. Well, that's okay. I just happened to be fortunate enough that when we bought this house a long time ago, this had a secondary garage that's away from the house. You've probably seen it in the back of the videos. And I use it kind of twofold. It's part workshop, and this is the only place that the big gray wonder, the dually, will fit in the garage at the house. And I think I got about that much to spare. So this is where the big dually goes. But you know, if you got a garage at home, a carport, if you don't even have that and you're working at a campground and they'll let you do a little sawing, you can get one of those little, you know, $60, $70 12-foot pop-up tents that you can set up at your campground and, you know, do your work there. And look, I just happen to have the sawhorses here. If I had a picnic table at the campground, I could make this, you know, I could do my cuts around that picnic table. So, you know, there's plenty of ways to be able to do something like this. You don't have to, you know, have a dedicated workshop. And look, this thing is no fancy, but it sure is handy. I'm going to make me a guide, a cut guide here. This is just a, you know, an old carpenter's trick. There's nothing fancy to it. You can buy those expensive rip, what they call rip guides, and I would love to have one. But I don't do enough woodworking anymore to justify the cost. They are quite expensive. You can go out on YouTube and find all these, you know, how-to videos how you can make one out of plywood. This is going to work. You know, one cut. And again, that what did I say? Measure twice, cut once. Again, I don't want to screw this up and make it crooked. Again, you don't have to use a table saw. I just happen to have it. Gosh, I've had this thing for years and years and years. I can't even tell you how much I've cut on it. You could do this with a skill saw. It's just this is my legs, or the side pieces, and it's going to be 22 inches at the top to fit under that 24-inch by 48-inch piece, and then 26 at the bottom. Just slightly 2 inches larger, slight angle cut, and that is that's just going to give it a little extra stability. The challenge is I'm going to have to freehand that angle cut. I'm not crazy about that, but again, measure, 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 because I don't want to goof this up. All right, here we go. A pencil eraser I can remove, a cut I can't. There we go, just like that. Start doing some of the trim now. This is going to be the edges around the top to kind of make it nice. Now to make the sides, I'm going to rip these down to something like about 1.5 inches, just to kind of put a border around this, kind of hide that rough plywood edge. And I'm going to start doing some of the finished pieces now. So putting some nice clear poplar trim around the edge of the top. It's going to give it such a nice finish. I'll take a little extra step. You'll see me using a miter saw here. I'll put some nice 45s in it. Again, we're going to try to make this furniture quality, even though it is going to be painted. So let's get started with that. We'll brad nail it, do a little glue. I think it'll look neat. Looky. Looks nice, real nice, Jerry. Okay, I'm going to start assembling the stand now, and I've got a neat little trick. I don't know if you've seen this. This is called a Craig's product, Craig's tool. It's for using something called pocket screws, and this is a great way if you're dealing any type of a project in your RV or your home, whether it's furniture, shelving, anything like that, where you've got to put two pieces of wood together, say a piece of wood like this and another piece of wood like that, facing each other. These pocket screws give a phenomenal amount of strength, and that's really important if you're working on a desk that's going to have a lot of vibration, or worse, you're in that RV out there that's right outside my garage, and you're driving down the road in our 9.5 earthquake down I-95 in South Carolina. If you've done it, you know what I'm talking about. So these these vibrations will get you. So just a tad of glue and one of these Craig tools. Now, you can get something very simple in the $25 to $30 range, which is like just a little single device. They work fantastic. There's absolutely nothing wrong with those. This is a dual, and I'll show you how this works together, but it comes with the jig, a bit, a few sample screws, and a couple other little doodads. But it's a great tool. I'll put in the show notes cost of these. Kits go up, just depends on how fancy you want to get. They've got them with clamps and all kinds of wild stuff. This one for me just seemed to be, I've used it a bunch. It still looks like it's brand new. They're fantastic. So let me show you how these work. It's pretty cool. So here's where I'm going to put the pocket screws. I'm going to put this on both sides. You'll notice you've got 1/2 inch, 3/4, and 1.5 inch. This is for the thickness of the wood that you'll be placing your pocket screws in, and this is 5/8, 3/4, and I'll be using the 3/4, and it has a little guide here. So what I will do is you take it and where you see that guide, you snug it up like so. Now, to kind of keep it in place, I'll take one of these. They actually make a fancy Craig clamp that you can buy. These work just as well. You're going to love this. This is so simple. Also, on your drill bit here, your pocket screw drill bit, you'll see 1/2, 3/4, and 1 1/2, and that's your stop. So as you're drilling down inside this, you want it to stop at the proper depth. They've taken all the hard work out of it, so I won't say that it's dummy proof, but if I can use it, Anybody can. All right, here we go. Little gentle pressure, don't get carried away. Especially getting it started. All right. Look at that, isn't that awesome? All right, I'm gonna start doing a few things just to add some nice little touches to it. This is just a can of stain, and so to make it a little easier to pull this around, I'm going to come here and put rounded edges around the front. That's one thing I'm going to do. Let's get that done. A little jigsaw action here. Smooth it out with the sander a little bit. So I'm going to do a couple things here to help her with her cable management, both top and shelves and everything else, just so you don't have cables running all around the back and the side. And again, this is where the custom thing comes in. So we'll do something like about there. I think that'll look good. So that is going to be something like, just for future reference, 3/4. All right. And so I don't tear it, make it look terrible on the other side, I'll flip it. And then finish here. There you go. Well, everything's cut out. Everything has been, trimmed and got all my little specialty things done. I still got a few little cable running holes to put in yet, but that won't take but a second. All my pocket holes have been drilled, so the only thing left to do, let's go back there and put it together. So I made this little simple jig. It's just nothing to it really. It's just a piece of wood with a 2x4 that's been cut, nice and square. And this will just kind of help me, since I'm doing all this one-handed today. This will help me kind of get things the way I want it. Nice and tight. All right, let's finish the other side. So again, I'm working with my own two hands. If you got someone to help, that would be great. don't have that today. That's okay. Tools are a good thing. So I've got this big clamp I'll put here on the back. Get ready to put the top in the shelf. We're about done. This is almost it. We're going to do a little something here for cable management. I think about 2.5. Okay. Just like we did earlier with the legs. Alright, let's see if we can't get this this top put on. I guess we're going to work good. It's going to be a little heavy. Alright, let's see it. Let's see if I can figure out how to do this. Hey, Jerry. All right. Look at that. Huh? I'm going to put these in the back first and then make sure those are even before I go forward. Let's put the shelf in. I made me some of these, I call them cheaters. Put them in here like that. That way with these cheaters I don't have to fight this thing. This is also going to give a little bit more rigidity here up front. That's going to be nice as well. Kind of hold everything tight. Last piece, a little glue on this, a little piece of trim right here just to make that look fancy. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. Wipe that little bit of glue off. All right, here we go. Nice top. Let's see here. Looks really nice. Kind of a side view here. And, you can kind of see these angles. You can see these angles that I was talking about, how I made it a little bit. I don't know if you can quite make it out here in the video, how the front is just slightly, or the bottom slightly larger. And the back view here. And gave her some places to run her cables. So we've already sanded it off. We're going to blow it. We're going to kind of clean the shop up here a little bit, get this dust and sawdust out of here, and then put a coat of paint on it. Hard part's done. I know it's upside down. Got a few other little tricks that we're going to do. Let me show you what else we're going to be putting on it. After I get it painted, I'm going to put in this power strip, surge protector power strip up underneath here. So she's got a lot of tech that she's going to have to plug in, document cameras, laptops, who knows what all. So we'll put that in there, and then that'll give her plenty of plug-ins. But look at that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That should be enough. All right, let's get some paint on it. Well, we're at the school. There's Jules.
The best thing ever.
You like it, kiddo?
I do.
So tell us how this is going to be better for you.
I'm about to get my computer and put it up here, and I have to project and be able to project and work. And when my students do come back face to face, I'll still have remote learners. So I've still got to have my webcam here and teach my students there. And I've got workspace for textbooks and notes, and this is the cool. This is gonna I taught off of a little desk today, so this makes all the difference in the world.
And that'll take some fatigue out of you as well, right? Where you're not having to jump up and down. You've got everything at your fingertips as you're standing. So let me turn around here. The way y'all are running school now is you're doing both remote learning, and then you'll be doing distance learning here. These desks will separate.
Yes.
And you haven't actually started this part yet, but you're doing all your remote learning now.
No, yeah, right. We're doing a gradual release. We are taking the first 2 weeks to finish. We'll actually have plexiglass around each one of these individual desks as well. So we're getting those materials in, and then these desks will be separated. I just didn't want to toggle between them until I actually had kids in the room.
Well, let's see what your laptop looks like there. So when we talked about this, I talked about the human factors engineering and making it comfortable. So standing in front of it, your arms will be straight. You'll be very comfortable working at it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That'll be great. I can put my mouse here now. So I've got this I can have, and I'll be adding another component. I'll be adding my document camera. So that's going to give me some document camera space here to be able to project what I'm working on here. This is awesome.
That's cool. I'm glad that's going to work. And then we've got all these, holes where she can run her wires down through the bottom and just keep it clean. And then if you'll notice here in the classroom, you'll see all the Wizard of Oz stuff. So this is McLendon's Mumpskins. And I think you will see some yellow brick road on this. Maybe I'll get a snapshot later on and I'll put it up on our Facebook. That's awesome.
This is great. I can't thank you enough.
So Joan and I are not able to travel, and we decided we're going to help a teacher. So we're going to help Jules. And, they're doing remote learning, and we're hoping this desk just makes her day a little bit easier. So this is Jerry, and I love teachers.
And I love RV life.
You do?
Yes.
How cool is that?